So in today's video, I'm going to bust some of the biggest PON myths out there and hopefully save you some money in doing so. Let's grab a cup of tea and talk some more PON. Hi, I'm Lisa. I'm a UK houseplant creator with over 200 houseplants in my one-bedroom flat in London. And I am an absolute PON lover. So I thought I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into PON today and, well, bust the biggest PON myth out there. Just a quick freshen up what PON is. So PON is a mineral soilless substrate, also called product of nature, or it is very commonly called semi-hydro as well. It slips out sometimes in my mind, but that's technically wrong. It is PON, product of nature. Semi-hydro is the way how you can grow your houseplants in PON. Basically, it's just let me say it, a bunch of rocks, such as here, as you can see. And those rocks have different, like grades. Like some of them are quite fine, some of them you can buy more coarser mix, which depending on your roots of your houseplants, you need to thicker the root, as more coarse the PON should be. I have a whole video about that where I dive deep into everything PON, so I'm going to link that on the end of this video if you want to learn more about that. Do I need self-watering pots when using PON as a substrate? And that's a clearly absolutely not. You can buy self-watering pots, yes. You can DIY them, as I did here with my Syngonium red spot tricolor, where, well, to be fair, most of my plants are in like a DIY setup because, let's be real, the self-watering pots, they're quite expensive. They're pretty, they are very good, but they are a bit more on the expensive side. So what I tend to do is I have one pot, mostly a clear container. You can see this is a little bit more on the coarse side. The roots are beautiful, and then it has outgrown its pot, so I soon need to repot it into a bigger pot, which is fine. And here in the decorative pot, I just have a little bit of water in there as a water reservoir, because Syngonium are actually quite thirsty plants. I don't have to really worry about it. I top it up a tiny little bit, like maybe once a week. You can see what level the water is. It basically goes up to here. It's a very minimal amount. If you overfill your water reservoir, it can cause root rot. So the roots shouldn't be in contact with the water, which means this one I have to repot really, really soon before it's going to be rotted. Another very common myth is, do I need to use the self-watering setup? Like, no, you don't as well. One of my Anthuriums, let me show you, my King of Spades, which grows a new leaf here, absolutely beautiful. It's not in a self-watering pot, it's in PON, in Lechuza PON there. And yeah, I just water it normally. I bring it to the sink. I will fill up the sink with water. I water the pot. I leave it to be in there for 30 minutes. And then I just take it out and put it in her normal decorative pot. And then I put it back in its decorative pot. So you don't need to use the self-watering setup at all if you're using PON substrates. Another species I love to use PON for are cacti and succulents. I have most of my cacti in PON, obviously without the self-watering. So this is my beautiful Geometricus, which is so cute. It has a new ball growing, so it will look like Mickey Mouse soon if this one is that size. I have it in PON. I water it roughly once a month, it depends, and I let it fully dry out, fully drip off in the sink, and they're all doing well. Like all of the cacti I had in soil, they died. I overwatered them. I feel like this is a lot easier substrate for me to use for cacti. Like, imagine, they grow in the desert naturally. It's very gritty, there are lots of rocks. There is no soil in the desert, really. There's sand and rocks, and I find that this mimics their natural habitat the best way. And I never really overwatered one with PON in it. I'm using a fine PON mix because the roots are very, very fine compared to my Anthuriums. So if you're in the UK, you can use the Lechuza PON or the mono PON from Lechuza, which is the non-fertilized, comes without the pre-fertilizer in it. And you can use the Soil Ninja fine semi-hydro mix. Another plant myth is that you cannot overwater your plants in PON. Of course you can overwater them. Root rot happens all the time in PON as well. So it depends on your plant's watering needs, how much water you should put in a reservoir. Don't just assume that, oh wow, that's what the water reservoir, if you buy a pot, should like fill it up to the max. Don't. If you use PON on a cacti, I would not use self-watering. We just discussed that. It's very important that you don't overfill your reservoir. Otherwise you easily overwater your plant and you get root rot, which, to be fair, it did happen when I went to Scotland 2 weeks ago. Oh my god, it's already 2 weeks ago. Because I thought, let's be safe, put some water in my plants, because the last time, remember that video, I did not do that. But it wasn't hot, it was very cold, so those plants have been overwatered, and my Anthurium red crystallinum luxurians, which had the inflorescence, yeah, they got root rot and the inflorescence died. It's fine. I literally got it dried out. I will take it out tomorrow. I will cut all the roots off and it's going to be fine. Just to be aware, it depending on your plant's watering needs and where it is. Like if it's in the sun or in like a bright spot in your home and it drinks a lot, if it would do naturally, then obviously fill a bit more water or top up your water reservoir more frequently, rather than just all the time fill it up to the top. And make sure between every now and then just to let your water reservoir dry out and leave it dry for a few days, just in case, kill off bacteria if there is, especially if it's so hot. A very semi-true myth is that PON prevents pests. Well, it kind of does, but it depends how you use it again. So if you have fungus gnats, they lay their eggs into a moist environment. So if you water your plants in soil and you top water them and the topsoil is wet, that's where they lay their eggs in. You don't have that with PON because there is no soil, right? So it does reduce the amount of pests you're getting. However, if you, as just discussed now, always fill your water reservoir to the top and the PON is always on the moist side, they can lay their eggs in there too. It's more difficult for them, but you definitely can get pests. I mean, in my case, most of them are from my moss poles. I always use a combination of PON and moss, whether it's, you know, just with this one, I have a layer of moss at the bottom here at my King of Spades. So the PON granules, they are not falling out of the pot. But then I can see if the moss is crispy at the bottom, it's time to water the plant for me. That's a little hack. You can do it on the top as well. I ran out of moss sadly, but I need to buy some new ones. So normally I would just put moss all around there, and when top and bottom is dry, that's the cue for me to give her a good soak again. Every plant loves PON. Clearly not all plants love PON. There are plants which are doing very well in PON and which who aren't. I would generally say that Anthuriums, they love PON. Whether it's in self-watering, if you are cautious with the water reservoir, yes. I tend that thirstier plants, such as calatheas and marantas, they do love PON, but I would mix a little bit of soil into the PON mix, which then, you know, it's not pure PON anymore, but it does work for me. My alocasia, Jacqueline in this case, she is thriving. I'm not an alocasia person, right? So what I did with her is I have the PON at the bottom as a water reservoir, and then I have a soil and PON mix, which is on top. Like roughly you can see here is a PON, pure PON. So if I water it, the roots are not touching the actual water. And then I have just normal soil mixed with PON on top. And she likes it. She likes it. She's currently struggling a little bit with the heat. But that's okay, we all are. But she's thriving, she is growing. She gave me 24 corms last year. I think that's the way alocasias work for me with a PON mix. Plants grow faster in PON. No. The growth depends on your light condition, on your fertilizer, so your nutrients, and the temperature. And of course it depends on the plant. Some plants are more faster growing than other plants. In summer they grow, spring and summer they grow faster than in winter because they hibernate. Plants should hibernate in winter. They should rest. They should have a break from growing, just so they can grow stronger leaves for the year after. But yeah, the substrate is not the reason that your plant is going to grow faster. So, and one of the last myths I want to talk about is PON is an expert substrate. And for me, that's not true as well, because for me personally, it made my plant care a lot easier. It saves me money. You do have to understand the basics of it. It is very different compared to soil. You have different things you have to pay attention to. So those are my most common PON myths. If you have any more questions about PON, just leave them down in the comments. And yeah, if you want to learn more about PON, you can check out my beginner video of how to transfer your plants and why I quit soil. And yeah, I hope you like it. Quick one this week. It starts to get very hot. The sun is starting to come up and it's already 33 degrees here in my flat, not outside. So yeah, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, and I would really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye!